How long was Ruth working in the field before she met Boaz? How long was she working and being consistent and faithful to the thing that God told her to do before God allowed her to meet her husband? Every month I do a 3 days of prayer and a fasting webinar at the beginning of the month. And this month we started off and we were talking about the timing of God. And we got into the topic of Ruth, and we realized that we don't know how long it took Ruth and Naomi to get to Judah. And we also don't know how long Ruth was working in the field before Boaz noticed her. Ruth was just being consistent and doing the last thing that God told her to do. So if you're somebody and you're praying for your future husband, or you're praying for the new job, or you're praying for the new car, or you're praying for something with God, and you're getting discouraged because you're looking at the time where you feel like, God, I've been doing this for long enough. I want you to think about the stories in the Bible and realize that it rarely tells us how long they were doing the thing that God told them to do. Something else that stood out to me when we were talking about it on the webinar is the fact that it says that Boaz learned about Ruth's reputation. In order to have a reputation, in order to be known for doing something, or be known as a good woman, to be known as a hard worker, for everybody to know how good she treated her mother-in-law, this had to be something that she did consistently in order to get this reputation. So that means it wasn't just something that happened overnight. And a lot of times when we don't get our prayers answered overnight, we feel like God isn't listening or God isn't going to come through. But all the biggest blessings in the Bible that we love to reference and talk about, we don't know the timetable. He also talked about the fact that it took God 25 years to fulfill what he promised Abraham and Sarah. It was 20. I said, that's why they went and decided to go get their own son, because they waited for 25 years, yet God still kept his word. So if you're somebody and you're starting to get discouraged, I want you to know that when you think about stories in the Bible, we don't know how long they waited. The only thing that we know is that God is faithful.